Hello and welcome to Community Storytelling. I'm Lissa Kreisler. Community Storytelling brought to you by the very lovely Linda Lester in Leicester Square. I have two people sitting next to me right now that I never thought in my whole life I would get to interview. And here they are. And if you don't know them, you know their places of business. But let's see, four things. Let me see if I have this right that I know they love. They love wine. They love Italians. They love clean cars. And they love philanthropy, and I'll make it 5, and the arts.
Yes.
Marilyn and Frank Dorsa. I can't believe I'm sitting with you. I'm probably going to embarrass myself before this is all over. You are absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
You are much more beautiful than your pictures give you.
Thank you.
I mean, you're just gorgeous, and you're pretty good too.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
How many years have you guys been married?
I'm not going to tell him. You tell him.
No, I don't know. Is it 54, 55?
55 and 9 months. 55
Yeah,
and
9
9 months. We
months.
looked it up today.
Really?
54
Yes.
and 9
Yes,
months.
we did.
And was there a reason you looked it up today?
We couldn't remember.
Did you think you were missing out on a gift or the date? Do you know the date?
No, we were at lunch. Honest, this is the truth. We were at lunch and I said to Frank, well, how long have we been married? And he said, over 55. And so then I looked it up, and for almost.
Where did you look it
56.
up?
If you could
Just
ask
ask
Siri
Siri.
anything.
Maybe you got out your purse and looked up the marriage certificate or something.
All I said was, Siri, how long have we been married? If we've been married, da 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 da.
I met Marilyn
Yeah.
when she was 12 and a half.
Really? Neighborhood?
I went,
No.
she was going to Notre Dame actually at 12 and a half, and I was at Bellarmine.
I skipped a year.
I was a few years older, and she was having her first boy-girl party.
At her house.
Yeah.
I was a freshman at Notre Dame.
Your mom was very progressive, letting you have a boy-girl
Yeah.
party.
No, it was, my father was in the next room. My mother was doing the cooking. It was definitely.
Oh, right.
No, I mean, it was pin the tail on the donkey type of party.
Well, that one can get out of hand,
Oh,
too.
no, not the way we did. We're talking Sicilians. Things do not get out of hand in an Italian Sicilian
So
house.
you were at this party?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was
How did
there.
you get invited?
We had a common, I had my boyfriend at Bellarmine, and his sister was going to Notre Dame, and so,
His sister was my girlfriend.
Okay.
yeah, so that's
and
how
so
it
she
met.
was the one who put the guest lists together because I came from a public school and I didn't know anybody from the Catholic schools. So she did all of the invitations and he showed up.
And he showed up.
Yeah.
And what, he never left? Did you start dating?
Kind of never left.
Did
and
you go to the proms and everything? You went to
Everything,
proms?
soft hop,
That was
everything.
it.
Yeah.
The sock hop. Now we're going back. I didn't even know they had those.
No,
this
not
was-
to everyone. I mean, there were times, but we did date for the most part.
And are you always together?
Pretty much.
Yeah?
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. But you started entertaining when you were like 7, right? Weren't you a
I
singer?
did. Yeah.
What kind of
Yeah.
music did you sing?
I did country pop, and it was kind of the Teresa Brewer, Patti Page time zone, where country music was melding into pop, and that's what I did. And I got into show business by accident, and went on to be on television every week on the Hoffman Hayride.
In the Bay Area?
KPIX.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
You have to realize that was before network, generally TV. Now, there were a couple of network programs that were filmed, and that was like the Stars of Stars and, you know, Sid Caesar and all of that. But very, very few. Everything else was local. And so that show was one of the beginnings of TV locally.
Well, I was on KNTV. They had Hocus Pocus. And my mom's best friend was the producer, so I was always on. I was kissing horses. I was doing all sorts of silly things. But you had a talent. You were big time. And why did you stop?
I didn't like the people because I got to a point where I was offered contracts in LA.
And you were in Vegas,
with
too,
Warner.
which
Yeah, I
kinda-
was in Vegas, did shows there
As a
with
child?
Rosemary. Yeah, as it was teenager at that point. And Rosemary, who just passed, was the comedian on, and the DeMarco sisters were on that show. And the orchestra was Ina Ray Hutton's all-girl orchestra, which was a kind of a leftover terminology from World War II. but they were a fabulous orchestra, and it was a terrific show. And everything was, they were all women. And it was at the Royal Nevada, which predated the Frontier and predated a lot of those, but it was one of the first hotels there that really did the big extravaganza shows. And I was in that, and I was offered a Warner Brothers contract for 77 Sunset Strip, and I turned it down because I began not to like the people in the business. When you're in country music, people are wonderful, and even at that time, they were so great. They were very protective, and they loved my mother and father. They loved me. Cotton C. Clarke was terrific, and we never had a worry. LA's a different scene. So I instinctively didn't want to do it, and my mother and father let me make the decision, and here I am.
Well, that's a good thing,
I
because
am not unhappy.
you two could have fallen
Yeah,
apart.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, unless you went into showbiz, and I don't think that's
No.
your thing.
No.
So,
And you have to know this, the beginnings of this whole thing, his grandmother and my grandmother came over on the same boat from Italy. And we didn't know that until we were going together.
Yeah, until we were engaged. Her father informed us that the grandmothers, who never spoke English, came over together, yeah.
amazing. Where did you get married?
St. Christopher's Church.
Oh, how nice. How many people? Do you remember?
Oh, Italian wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we had 300 people.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
we got married again in St. Chris's with the same photographer that had done our original wedding, and
So you renewed your vows.
25 years. We renewed our vows then.
You missed 50.
we did three
No,
times.
We did it 3 times. That's it.
Always at St. Chris?
No.
No.
One time was in Venice.
Yeah.
Oh. Did you get married on one of the gondolas?
No,
or
No.
St.
anything?
Mark's Square.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
how'd you get rid of the pigeons?
Oh, we
No.
just stood out there in
It
front
was-
of the church.
Yeah, no, the ring I wear is the Venice wedding.
That's
Yeah.
what a story. And you still look like you're so in love. It is so sweet.
Yeah, we are.
So you have, oh, look at that. Oh. So how'd you get into the car wash business?
I started out of Bellarmine. I bought a little sweeper that was on San Carlos Street. I bought it new. My father loaned me $2,600 at 6% interest, and one of my Bellarmine friends, his father did the same. We bought this machine, a trailer, a truck, and then we started sweeping parking lots. And at that time, the valley was growing. I mean, we swept Courtesy Chevrolet on its opening night. We did Town and Countries, you know, all the original Emporium, all that stuff, new stuff. And I was 25 years old, and we thought, well, we need to buy something other than have the sweeping business. So I bought Lark Avenue that was bankrupt. It was just a tin building. We would pull the cars through on chains that were on a wooden board. We had mitts. We were mitting the cars just on buckets.
What a difference.
Yeah, and so really, I still love the business, and we've modernized every year through the 50 some odd years that we've been in the car wash business.
Well, I think you're known for the clean water process that you use.
Yeah,
I mean, that
we
was-
recycle.
Yeah.
Over 90% of our water is recycled and used in the wash process.
So Lark Avenue was first.
Yeah,
Was Hamilton second?
Delta Queen
Delta
was
Queen,
second.
and then Robertsville.
And
Is-
then we have one in Saratoga
Oh, do you?
on Prospect.
There's
yeah.
been one I haven't been to? Well,
Yeah.
okay, so
There's no gift
I'll-
shop there.
there's no, okay, then I'm not interested. Your gift shops are amazing. So sometimes I go without getting the car wash.
That's okay.
Is that okay?
That's okay,
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Do you make a lot of the things you sell in your gift
No,
shops?
no.
Because you are an artist,
Yeah, I am.
and you love to make jewelry.
That's right. Well, I did. I'm over it. But I did.
I hope you never say that
That
to
was
me,
true.
Marilyn.
Well,
She's got it down.
I went.
It does, it does.
I was an art major, and so
At
San Jose State.
Go Spartans.
Yep. And so my heart is in painting. After I got out of music, I got into painting. And then in the 70s, I started to get interested in making jewelry. And So I just went down and bought the equipment. Talk about impulse. And I started making wax molds and went on to do a whole line of jewelry. Now, at that time, gold was $32 an ounce. And so I could do gold jewelry and put in semi-precious and precious stones. And I had a little thriving art business with that. And then, at the same time, I was started at Lark with a little teeny shop and with plants and antiques. And then I brought in my jewelry in a little case, and little by little, then we added the store there. And then when Delta Queen was built, we put the store in. And that's when I really started the retail. And you have to, this is kind of a historic thing. There had never been a gift shop in a car wash anywhere in the world.
Really?
We were the first. And so that's kind of a nice little claim to fame, because now they're everywhere. Every car wash has at least a minimum amount of a gift shop.
Nobody has anything like you do.
No, I have to say, they really don't.
I mean, there
You're
are
right.
many times they're yelling at me to come get the car, and I'm still inside. I'm sure many people have that story. Did you make your earrings and your bracelet?
No.
No?
No, I designed this and I designed this.
And those are gorgeous
Well,
rings.
thank you.
Those were not the original rings, were they? The original wedding rings?
No, it's every 25 years the wedding.
Yes, you get an even bigger one.
Anyway, moving right
We
along.
get sidetracked here. He's bad.
I have a buying team now.
Do you?
I used to do all the buying,
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
but I have a great buying team now. All of the managers of the stores take part in the buying process. And Patty Chase, who's been with me now since she was 16, I'm not going to say how old she is now, but it's been a long time. And she heads the buying team, and they're just great. They're terrific.
Well, your employees love you too.
We love them.
I mean,
They're
you,
really
Yeah.
you must
they're
be so
family.
good to them because they speak so highly of you. And
We
everybody
pay them
seems happy.
just to talk well about us.
Well, you're paying them well because they really, really do love working for you.
You know, we appreciate their heritage because when my father's parents came in the late 1880s, in the 1880s, they were extremely poor, and they lived on Oak Street in downtown San Jose. There were six. He had 4 brothers and the parents. My father took me to see their home when I was probably 10 or 12, and it was a 2-car garage. And so the transformation from my grandfather, who never spoke English, to my father, to myself, is the same transaction that's still happening
Without some
today.
of our
Yes,
employees.
yes.
With all our,
With the same,
not all, but
same
most
thing.
of our.
Some of our employees.
And you may not know this, but my father started his business in 1938-39. And do you know the name of the?
I believe it's Lego My Eggo.
It is. It is.
Eggo Waffles.
That was his company.
That is amazing.
It is still operating and by catalogs
Yes.
here in San Jose with his plant, his machinery, which most people don't know that it's originated in San Jose. Yeah.
Do you eat a lot of Eggo frozen waffles?
I don't.
Every morning.
She
I
does.
do every
I
single
don't blame
morning.
you. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
That's, you throw them in the toaster and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
What a story. What a heritage. What a legacy.
Yeah. No, I worked.
And you didn't want to get into that business?
No, my father had. There was 3 of us, and none of us pursued the business.
So who's running it now?
Well, Kellogg's.
Oh, Kellogg's bought it, yes.
Yeah.
bought them out, but we had the opportunity. We never really talked about it. My father certainly would have been thrilled, but I worked there all through high school. And then in college, I had my own business, the sweeping business,
Yes.
and then the car washes
Yes.
and all that. So, a lot of history.
But what people don't realize is Eggo not only made waffles, which his father invented the whole machinery. He did it. But they had mayonnaise. They made mayonnaise. They did the potato chips.
Yeah.
And all of their recipes were taken by and used by Kellogg's, but under different names.
You grew up, right? You saw the
Yes.
Eggo potato chips, mayonnaise,
Yes.
all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you two become such philanthropists? You give so much to this valley, to so many different organizations. You've been honored by almost every organization, as well you should. But what's made
It's our,
you do
you know,
that?
it's our valley. I mean, we grew up here. Our grandparents not grew up here, but influenced us a lot. And I think it's just a natural thing that we do.
I don't think it's a natural thing.
It just...
When you love your life and your family and how hard they worked to get where they made a tremendous, both sides made a really good success of their lives and worked very, very hard. You realize how hard people struggle, and we wouldn't live with ourselves if we didn't give back to the community. It's in our blood. It's part of that Catholic upbringing too. The nuns and the priests did their little tricks on us.
Well, you know what? I'm Jewish, and we're not that far apart because
No,
I
we're
feel
not.
the need to give all the time too. I don't
Yeah.
know what that's about, but yes,
Yeah.
you have to do it.
You know, another interesting thing is that Lee Lester was very close to her father because they were both
They were
ranchers.
right down the road. I grew up on Chinook. I grew up in a prune ranch.
Well, half of this valley did.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
on a prune ranch, and our neighbors across the street were the Hayes Mansion on Chinook Avenue. Down Chinook Avenue were the Lesters.
Yeah. And then on Castle, Maryland, they were your neighbors.
Yes, and then when my parents built their house on Castle Drive in Willow Glen, on the corner, Lee and Eva lived. So, their daughter Linda grew
Yes.
up there.
And she is such a giver. I mean, you're like
Oh.
from the same mold, to be honest with you.
She's
Wonderful
a wonderful
people.
giver.
Yeah.
But she doesn't own a winery. So where did that come from?
You know, my childhood, I spent a lot of time up in the east side. My uncle was the 4th or 5th generation of the Merceus. Yeah, the Merceau family. So
Married his aunt, Evelyn
Yeah,
Dorsa's
my-
sister, Millie, was Ed's wife.
So I
Such a
grew up in the vineyards and shooting jackrabbits and camping in the vineyards and picking prunes and cutting apricots and putting them in the sheds with the sulfur, light the sulfur pots. And so, I mean, that whole thing, swimming in the fermenting tanks at the winery, you know, I just grew up around it. That's how that
what
happened.
year did you buy that amazing winery? I've seen your website, and it is
No,
gorgeous.
we built it all.
You built so
Absolutely
it was.
everything.
It's La
Rusticana.
Dorsa.
Dorsa.
And you have your own wine label.
Yeah.
Bordeaux's, I think you make.
Yep.
Blend.
Yeah.
Bordeaux
Is
blend.
that a Bordeaux blend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you live up there too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. So that is your home now.
Yeah, we have another home in Willow Glen, but we've been living a lot in Los Gatos at the winery.
But it's not open to the public. You're part of the passport when they
Yes.
We do
open up.
passport. We do passport events.
And I host painting workshops in the summer. There's 3 this year, with the same teachers that have been coming for years are teaching again this year. And there's a 3-day workshop. And so it's open for that art experience for those students.
And it's up on Kennedy Road.
Ron Kennedy and Joanna Arnett from, where's she from?
Joanna Arnett, who's pretty famous artist, and she lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico. She's doing the next class in April, the second week, I think, of April. And then we have Randall Sexton coming in June, and Father Bruno Sagata, who is originally from Florence, coming in August.
So you bought that property. How many acres is it?
It was just nothing.
Nothing, right?
Nothing there. No, it was 45. Now we sold off through. We have 42 acres. Yeah.
And how many years did it take you to get to where it is today?
20.
20 years. And did you see it along every step of the way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every.
We bought it in '88, and the earthquake happened right after we bought it. And the little shack that we had thought our caretaker would live on or whatever just went. And that was owned by Meta Hellwig. Meta Hellwig was one of the original members of the Sierra Club. And I have all of her history. She had no children. She was married to Harold Hellwig, who put all the ironwork into Ego. Did all the sheet metal and ironwork for Ego. We didn't know any of this until we went through papers. And anyway, Meta Hellwig was really a naturalist. And so we dedicated our ranch to St. Francis of Assisi and to Meta Hellwig's memory, because we try to keep it as close to agriculture as we can, which is what she loved. And a lot of it is wild. We left a lot of it wild.
So you have your estate up there.
Yes.
I saw the pictures of it being built. You have a winery, a wine tasting room,
Yeah.
and you have a winemaker who lives up there?
We do it ourselves.
You do it
Yeah,
yourselves?
yeah. I mean, we have, for 20 years, we have still some of the original people that worked 20 years ago, and we all work together up there. And so one of our, the vineyard manager or the manager of the property is the one that's heavily involved in the winemaking. Under our name, the Dorsa name, the other label is just the La Rusticana, and it's made by Jeffrey Patterson in Mount Eden.
Yeah.
And where do you sell your wine, or do you not sell it?
No.
Other than you sell it on the premise if people are allowed to come
Passport.
up.
Passport or the car wash.
The car wash.
No, Bert George handles it.
Yeah.
There's restaurants that handle it, and we sell it every year. Just a small amount. It's not.
Yeah, we're not big
We're not
production.
in the big business of.
Do you drink
promoting it.
some every night?
Sure.
Uh-huh.
We go down and check
And
the
then you start
barrels.
singing? And you say, let's go get the car washed.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
Oh my goodness, you are
Yeah.
just amazing. What's left? Is there anything left that you have not conquered? You go to Italy. I know you're involved with Florence, Italy, quite a bit.
I was part of the Florence Sister County Commission for years, and the new policy of the new government in Florence is they don't want to naturally be friends too much with the counties of California anymore. But for years, I was on that commission for 13 years.
Why don't they like us anymore?
The transition of politics in Italy fluctuates like the weather. And for many years, we had a very friendly sister county relationship, but it's kind of deteriorated in the last administration.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, but you know what? I put in enough time.
Yes,
So.
you have to stay home and drink your wine.
Yeah,
that's right. And make sure that the car wash has fabulous gifts and everything.
Well, yeah, and we're at a time where we like to spend a lot of time together and travel and do things that we want to do.
Where do you like to go? Back
You
to
name it.
Italy, I
You
know.
name it.
So you
No.
travel a lot? Do you have time to travel?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, we travel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we travel quite a bit.
And you must have hundreds and hundreds of dear friends. You've been here so long, your
Yeah, we do.
families.
We have a lot
You
of
do.
friends.
You see them a lot? I hope so.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Thankfully.
Yes. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. But what is left? I don't think there's anything left.
Living life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're
and-
living it well, I think.
Well,
you both
yeah.
look fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And but seriously, your giving in this community is overwhelming.
Thank you.
Overwhelming, wonderful. And every accolade you get, you deserve plus more.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We
And-
have our
yeah.
parents to thank for it a lot for. I mean, we really do. Our parents.
I hope my girls say that about me someday. I always wonder, what are they going to say about me? But I hope they say that I gave and they learned from that. Because that's the best thing you can do for people.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And drink
Very,
wine.
Very rewarding.
You know, drink wine.
Drink wine, eat good food.
Eat good Italian food, I
Eat
bet.
good
Are you a good
Italian food.
cook?
I'm a good cook. Am I a good cook,
You're
dear?
a very good cook.
Thank you.
So like, what's a typical dinner?
Oh, well, what's a typical
Pasta.
dinner?
She does great pastas.
Yeah, and
soups. A lot of great soups.
and breaded meats and a lot of Sicilian things too.
What time do you normally eat?
We're eating earlier and earlier and
I
earlier
usually
now.
just eat, a Weight Watchers dinner, so
Yeah.
I'm coming over.
Yeah, no, you're certainly
Oh my
welcome.
goodness,
Yeah.
you two are just wonderful.
Thank you.
And like I said, I never thought I would get to interview you, but I always wanted to, and now my wish has been fulfilled.
Well, you're so nice. Thank
well,
you.
Thank you.
You are, and please don't ever leave us. This valley
we're
needs
not.
you.
No, no,
All
we're not.
right, all right. And your son is doing great.
Doing terrific.
Yes,
Yes.
I googled him. He's amazing.
He's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, who did he get that from?
Oh, I don't know. Just
I think it's a combination of both. Have you not had fun? I have had such fun. Marilyn and Frank Dorsa, unbelievable, magnificent givers in this community. Community storytelling at its finest right now. We just had it. But maybe you do have a story. Everybody's got a story. And, Los Gatos, Montessorino, there are stories hidden. We're going to get to them. KCAT.org is how you do the nomination. And as always, thank you so much for spending some time with me and community storytelling on KCAT TV 15.